Ithaca, New York is the second most expensive small city to rent a one-bedroom apartment in the United States. That is according to a new data analysis from rental analytics firm called Dwelssey. Their list puts Ithaca just below Santa Barbara, California, and lists Ithaca's average housing to be $2,003 a month for a one-bedroom apartment unit. So what exactly makes prices in Ithaca so high? And what affordable housing options are available to keep people off the streets? Well, those are two questions I asked, and many more, to real estate experts, affordable housing developers, and state tenant organizers.
I just couldn't even imagine trying to pay that much for rent. And as a single parent with a kid, I need like a 2-bedroom, which I can't even imagine how much that would cost there.
Karina Farbman attended Ithaca High School and spent much of her life living in the city limits. After returning to Tompkins County post-college and a career in New York City, Farbman was forced to find housing outside the city limits. The Ithacan, who now lives 20 minutes away in Caroline, is not alone.
So folks that are looking to buy within the city of Ithaca have been priced out of it, what we call priced out, due to just the increase in appreciation, natural appreciation.
In January, Ithaca was named one of the most expensive places in America to rent a one-bedroom apartment by Dwelssey. Ithacans are now forced to search for housing in nearby cities, and much of that can be attributed to wages that aren't keeping up with housing costs and a low vacancy rate.
I've actually heard Simone really nicely describe it as a game of musical chairs, and we just really simply do not have enough chairs in our community for all of the people who need them.
Liddy Barger is the Director of Housing Initiatives at the Human Services Coalition of Tompkins County. Her organization runs the Continuum of Care program for Tompkins County and also acts as a funder for low-cost and affordable housing projects.
So the Section 8 programs themselves are actually run through two different agencies. There's Tompkins Community Action and there's Ithaca Housing Authority. And they have like a 2 to 4 year wait list for those programs with different priority populations. So sometimes it can be a lot shorter, but say you check the wrong box, or say it's just a long wait time, you can apply for it and not hear back for 4 years.
Getting into Section 8 or low-cost housing can take up to 4 years. So other organizations are stepping in to fill the gaps with affordable housing.
I will say we've got some great nonprofits like Habitat for Humanity and INHS, both of which have a housing trust model now, and so they can build single-family homes that are permanently affordable, so not just for the first homeowner, but if they sell their house 30 years from now. But through the Community Housing Development Fund, we have money, involved in almost every affordable housing project that's happened in the county in the last 13, 14 years.
Organizations such as the Ithaca Neighborhood Housing Services and Habitat for Humanity use funding from the Community Housing Development Fund in Tompkins County. Recently, the Ithaca Neighborhood Housing Services wrapped up its biggest project to date with money from the fund. The Founders Way project on Buffalo Street is comprised of 75 affordable and supportive apartments, with 22 devoted to people with special needs.
We exist to provide high-quality, affordable housing that people with modest incomes can secure and stay in for a long period of time. We are building new housing where we can, which is difficult in this environment. It's hard to find lots that are available, and then it's hard to come up with the funding to support construction in the current financial situation that we find ourselves in.
In addition to affordable housing developers, other groups can access funding from the Community Housing Fund. Live More Ithaca is a local property management company that received a grant for their Live 327 Seneca project on Seneca Street.
The goal for that, whenever we received the grant for it, was to provide housing for the middle class, working class of Ithaca, because you really just don't have that. It's either luxury, high-end housing, or it's all Section 8 affordable, which there's nothing wrong with that, but there just wasn't a market for that middle class.
Their project on Seneca Street hopes to house middle-class citizens with rent-monitored apartments. The company is also behind the new apartment complex, The Outlook, marketed towards Ithaca college students and offers luxury amenities.
There's not a lot of rent comps that are out here that really match what we've done over here with The Outlook. The amenities that we provide are really incredible for the residents. That the game room that I'm sure you've seen is not something that you just walk into any other place in Ithaca and have. The vibe here is just really eclectic and warm and inviting.
Genevieve Rand, a statewide organizer for housing at Citizen Action New York, says the high price of complexes with all the amenities affects affordability for the rest of the community.
So the affordability is the product of a power dynamic between tenants and landlords. The more power landlords have, and the less power tenants have, the higher the price of housing is going to be. So we do have an affordability problem.
With landlords in control, Rand explains how it leaves residents in Ithaca with limited affordable housing options.
Rents have gone up an average of between 15 and 30% in cities all over the state, including this one. Wages have not. Evictions are at record levels for recent years as COVID restrictions lift, and our homeless population is rising dramatically in line with that increase in evictions and increase in cost of living. And all of that adds up to a housing crisis.
Organizations such as INHS say they're putting up as much affordable housing as possible, but Rand believes in order to fix the problem, the system has to be addressed.
The housing crisis that we're in is a result of a power imbalance between tenants and landlords. And there are lots of institutions that exist to try to sort of seal over and prevent people from falling through the cracks of that system. But I believe, and many other people believe, that to actually fundamentally change it, we need to build the power to do that. And that comes from organizing everyday people to fight an extremely wealthy and powerful lobby that has every interest in keeping the system exactly as it is.
When looking for a solution to the housing crisis, local organizations hope to do as much as they can for a community whose needs continue to grow.
The more we build, the more they seem to grow, and it's just very hard to catch up. But we're going to keep working and doing our best, and for that handful of people we're able to help, we're happy to help them, and we'll keep trying.
So for now, local organizations and landlords plan to continue to develop low-cost and affordable housing through funding and resources from the county and state. And in Albany at the state capitol, organizations like Citizen Action New York are lobbying for legislation to get renters more control, hoping for a more affordable Ithaca housing market. For ICTV Reports, I'm Grant Johnson.